joining us live, the National Senator Matt Canavan. Matt, good to see you again. 2 for 2 for you. So thanks for jumping on the program. So what do you think of nuclear? Should it stay or should it go?
Well, what I want to see, Peter, is an energy policy that brings down people's power bills. I think the original sin of our energy policy at the last election was that we designed an energy policy to reduce emissions, not to reduce the cost of living. So I haven't moved from my position that we should just build everything. The way to reduce people's power bills is to use all of our God-given resources that we have in abundance. That includes coal, that includes gas, that includes uranium as well. There's a lot of Liberals out there saying we should immediately jump off the nuclear bandwagon. Clearly, we need to change what our energy policy is, but I'm not sure simply adopting the Labor Party's ridiculous 82% renewable target, adopting the failures that Chris Bowen has presided over with some of the highest energy prices in the world now. I don't see how that's the right approach. Clearly what we need to do is provide a choice to the Australian people, and I just don't think we provided a clear enough choice at the last election around a choice over cost of living, a choice over a cheaper power bill compared to meeting some international global agreements which mean nothing for people and are doing nothing for the environment.
So when you say uranium in your answer, does that mean you think nuclear should stay in the mix?
Yeah, of course.
I think everything should stay. You don't want that one to be jumped. You want to keep your nuclear policy.
It's very well. Look, as I say, I think it should be everything because it's very, very simple. That the more narrow you have as your energy options, the higher your costs of energy are going to be. And it's simply the most ridiculous part of our whole energy debate is everybody seemingly wants to have one silver bullet. They want to back one option almost one option often to solve every problem. The Labor Party at the moment has solar and wind with a little bit of batteries and gas. They don't talk about hydrogen anymore. It's fallen off the wayside. And we've got the nuclear plant with a bit of gas. In reality, if you want a functioning modern economy with lots of diverse industrial opportunities, job opportunities for people, and lower energy prices, you need to use a mix of energy sources. We are very lucky in this country that we have all of those energy resources. Yet we have the absurd situation now where we export coal and gas to North Asia. We don't use it enough ourselves, and they end up with lower power prices than us. Electricity prices in Japan and Korea and China and India are lower than our own country. They're using our resources that we have to ship all the way across half the side of the world to them. Why can't we use some of those resources here and have as cheap energy prices as those countries so we can have a manufacturing renaissance, so we can bring jobs back to Australia, and of course people can have a lower cost of living too.
See, now you've got this clash though, Matt, that's underway. You've got the Nats who are still for nuclear. You've got members of the Liberal Party who want the nuclear policy to be junked. So how does this marriage work now going forward?
Well, I think it's important to have that clash, at least in the words you put it. It's important to have a battle of ideas. Perhaps one thing we could have done more of in the last Parliament is to have some proper policy debates, but there was a priority on unity. Look, we've got time here to have these debates and nut it all out. And in terms of the coalition, look, I've always said this is a business relationship, not a marriage. We need to make decisions for what is in the best interest of the country. The Nationals Party should be proud of our role, not just at this election, but what we've done over the past 10 or 15 years within the coalition. And we've always found a way to work with our Liberal colleagues in that time. But I would argue that when we've been at our most success is when the Nationals Party has instigated a debate on many of these issues. It was the Nationals Party that first stood against Kevin Rudd's carbon tax. 6 months later, he was no longer the Prime Minister. It was the Nationals Party that saved the Adani mine, despite a bunch of bedwetting Liberals that wanted to kill it. And that saved the 2019 election, the Morrison government. And so we should never be shy in the Nationals Party of putting forward our view. I worry that we have been gun shy in this last term of Parliament in a futile attempt to give the Liberals space or some sort of opportunity to win seats in the city. That obviously didn't work. that clearly didn't work. And so maybe it's the time for the Nationals Party to rediscover its voice and push for options that benefit all Australians, that prioritise our country, over global agreements that mean nothing to people. People are suffering in this country and they deserve a choice. They deserve a champion that's on their side.
So do you suggest there that the coalition should break up?
So I don't want that to happen. I mean, that's not the goal. The goal is to deliver a choice and a fight for the Australian people. So I'd love to see the Liberal Party join us on that fight. Obviously, it's not for me to decide the policy of the Nationals Party, but I just think we shouldn't be shy and we shouldn't be afraid of taking up the fight, because the interest or the objective we should have right now is to save our country, not to save the party, not to save the coalition, not to save our own seats or the arrangements we've had for years. Our priority is to save the suffering Australian people. We are on decline at the moment as a country. We're going backwards. We may be the first generation in Australian history that leaves the next generation a lower standard of living. We have to fight to try and avoid that outcome. I don't want to give my kids a poorer economic environment than we've enjoyed ourselves.
Sounds like you're suggesting a breakup.
That's what we're on track for, and we should be fighting for a change.
It sounds like you're suggesting a breakup. That's my response to your response.
As I say, I think all options should be on the table, Peter. I'm not saying we shouldn't, or should or shouldn't. I'm saying we should get good outcomes. And I certainly think given... sorry, you go there.
No, will you challenge David Littleproud for the leadership of the party?
Look, I just want to see good outcomes. I've never been interested in who leads the party. I'm interested in policy. And top of my list on policy is to end net zero. It is a chain around our economy, around people's opportunities in life, obviously increasing the cost of living and the cost of everything in this country. It's doing nothing. Every other country almost in the world now is ignoring it. And now the Labor Party are talking about wanting a 70% emissions reduction by just 2035. What is the point of this? How is that going to help people? And if they go down that path, as I say, the Australian people, I think, deserve to have a referendum on net zero, a proper choice.
Okay.
No one,
so you're not going to challenge.
Had a vote
You're not going to challenge
David.
You're not going to challenge David for the leadership.
I don't have any plans for that. As I say, I want to see change in policy, not change in personnel.
Matt Canavan, thank you so much. We'll chat to you again soon.